Hello, amazing listeners of the Becoming You podcast. Welcome to the podcast where we talk about the complexities of adulthood. I am your host, Bukola. On this podcast, we talk about everything that has to do with us as adults, from discussing our shared struggles to analyzing ways in which we can become better adults, and to generally just encouraging ourselves through this very seemingly difficult phase of life. In the last couple of episodes, we've been talking about how we need to enjoy the process of living life, how we need to take each day as it comes, how we need to just take things slow, and the need for us to experience life. To build on that, in today's episode, we will be talking about how we can romanticize our journey and make each day fun. My first contact with the idea of romanticizing life, romanticizing our journey was through a YouTube video I stumbled upon. In that particular video, the lady spoke about how we can romanticize our lives by organizing themed party, by getting designer expensive items for ourselves, and by going out frequently and hanging out with our friends. The tips this lady gave in the video just made the concept of romanticizing our life seem very expensive. Over time, I've come to realize that a lot of people dismiss the idea of romanticizing their life because they feel like it's a luxury experience, it's a luxury activity. So in today's episode, I'm just here to let us know that we do not have to be rich to actually romanticize our lives. In fact, romanticizing life, romanticizing your journey isn't about inconveniencing yourself financially or in any other way. It's more about comfortably maximizing your life experiences. Before we go deep into the conversation, welcome to the month of June. I hope June is filled with so much fun for every one of us. How are you doing? I hope you're having a great time wherever you're listening from. Thank you. Now let's dive into the conversation of the day. Right before we dive in, let's hear what these amazing people think of the adulthood phase.
Adulthood is responsibility.
Adulthood is complicated.
Adulthood is growth.
Adulthood is maturity.
Adulthood is being independent.
Adulthood is stressful.
Adulthood has been confronting.
Adulthood is draining.
Adulthood is decision making.
Adulthood is resilient.
Adulthood is overwhelming.
Adulthood is fun and adventurous.
Remember, I'm not here to demonize this phase, but to say it as it is. Firstly, I'd like to start by defining the term romanticizing. What is romanticizing? When you think of romanticizing, you think of romance. Well, for those of us hearing this word for the first time, romanticizing is more about making something more interesting, more sweet, more joyful, more beautiful, and more special than it is. So when you're romanticizing your life, is basically about making life more beautiful for yourself, making your experiences more exciting, just you feeling excited about your life, you being able to find peace, love, satisfaction, and so much joy within yourself. We can achieve this feeling, we can experience this feeling, just need to make small changes here and there in your perspective about life and your daily habits. Talking about changing our outlook on life, I used to be someone who paid little attention to living life on my own terms. Start realizing that if life is worth living, it is worth living well. My attitude towards life started to change, and I try to just do things that make me genuinely happy. In a nutshell, I'll be talking about how we can romanticize our lives without having to break a bank or inconvenience ourselves financially. Instead of focusing on picking up new habits, doing new things, spending money, going out, we can actually start romanticizing our lives by spicing up the things we would normally do, making the things we do normally more interesting, just making our everyday routine, our everyday life more enjoyable. Firstly, you can start by studying your routine. What's your routine like? You have to know your routine to spice it up. You have to know your routine to understand how you can incorporate things that will just make it more interesting for you. You can start with your morning routine. Rather than rushing out of bed when you wake up, have some quiet time. This might sound a bit cliche and boring to a lot of people, but trust me, it's one of the most important things to do. What they say about how you start your day would go a long way in determining how your day would go. So if you're able to just start your day by thinking about the things that excite you, by just taking things a bit slow from your morning time, not rushing things through from immediately you wake up, you would be able to have a more calm day. Remember, your morning routine is whatever you make it. You don't have to stick to the traditional idea. Find a way to make it good. Just make sure you have some time to yourself.